Alrighty, so let's take a quick look, starting out at the new stuff for the expansion for Equinox. Which, if you're watching this on YouTube, it will have come out a couple days ago. And for those of you live, well, it's coming out on Tuesday. I'm not going to read the whole thing. I'm just going to pick out a few things here because most of the stuff we've seen in the videos and stuff from CCP, but there's a few things in here that caught my attention. And so we got the new sovereignty hubs. We got the orbital skyhooks, which replaces the, what are they called? A pause? No, I don't know. They're sitting at each one of the moons. They're the custom station. And these can be robbed. So like an ESS. And so that's going to be interesting. I am Poco. Thank you. There's new stuff. Okay, so these go at certain planets, not all of them. And what I don't know is the planetary stuff. So the different now there's combinations of things happening here. And you have workforce, you have power, and then you have presence, I'll call it, which is the presence of particular planets, planet types. And the star provides the power. The planets, certain types, produce workforce, and they can produce it from in that system or within a couple systems around it. And they are a clone technology. So the residents of the planets don't actually have to travel there. They enter the clones and do their work, and the clones apparently look pretty much all the same. And then the type of planets are the different resources that you can get. And these resources are going to be worked into other things like building the SOV, the sovereignty structures. And I don't know if they're in the new Equinox ships or not. But yeah, so here, power, workforce, reagents. They're calling it reagents. So, and I don't know if all of the types of stars are included. I know that, blue star is the highest power, and white star is the lowest. I think that's what I read, or what I heard, or what I saw, or what I listened to. Golly, so many information sources on this stuff. And so in null, this is going to cause quite an upset because, like, the systems where, like, I'm just going to use where I live in null. MJ is our home station, and so that's our home system, and it's our home system because it allows for the largest umbrella over our systems of capitals being able to jump to defend things. And then we have we have areas that are industrial, and we have areas where we do ratting stuff, and then we also have a lot of rented space. And some of the rented space might actually be perfect locations for some of this new stuff. And so I don't know if, like, we're going to, like, end contracts with people and tell them they have to move, or, how it's going to shake up the whole thing. We have a lot of systems in Pandemic Horde. I mean, a lot. We have a lot of rental space. We have a lot of direct space or primary space. And so this right here is really going to shift how things are done. And we may still keep our home system because of the umbrella, but I can totally see manufacturing moving, ratting moving, and all of that stuff. So it's going to be pretty interesting. The skyhooks and stuff are we're probably going to end up with them placed at most places. PR nightmare of move. We want your space now. Yeah, it's I don't know that our renters have like contracts. They may be like, okay, we got this spot for the next year. I don't know. And then will they honor that? I don't know. I'm not in any of the leadership for it, so so it looks like the orbital skyhooks can be built. 5.5 billion ISK for the blueprint. I won't get into that. I am going to buy the blueprints though for the ships. The Sovereignty Hub, and it's let's see, Territorial Claim Unit. So there's a bunch of this that I actually don't understand. And I'm not sure that most of us need to understand it. Most of us in our alliances are just going to leave it up to other people to, do the particular upgrades that are advantageous for the systems, and just allow them to figure it out and them to tell us where to go to rat, to mine, to do all of that stuff. But these offer a lot of new opportunities and a bit of being able to design your system. So because you can focus more on industry, you can focus more on ratting, you can focus, I think, more on defense. So anyway, could be very interesting. Let's see, new mining sites that these prospecting arrays can provide. So Veldspar deposits contains an abundance of Veldspar, which in null, that's a really big deal. Now, what is this going to do to the market in HiSec? Because in HiSec has been traditionally the only place you can find Veldspar in quantity, and we have a lot of HiSec miners. That is this going to decimate the value of their mining there, or is maybe other mining going to come in to HiSec again? I don't know. Morundinium deposit contains a new ore, Morundinium, that is abundant in pyrite. Crixium contains new ore, Chyrixlium. Gosh, I don't know how to pronounce these. Is abundant in Mexilon and contains amounts of trit and pyrite. Grimir contains new ore Grimir that is abundant in isogen and tritanium. Trit. Noxite contains new ore Noxite that is abundant in noxium and contains amounts of trit and pyrite. Hisrime, new ore Hisrime that is abundant in zydrine and contains amounts of tritanium and isogen. And then eugenonite, which is abundant in megasite and tritanium. So there's a lot of new ore types, and the materials are all the same. Like, there's no new materials that I see in here. There's just new ore types which have different combinations of things. These new ore deposits will not require new skills to mine. Interesting. So how will that work then? Will it be that there are existing things, like, because you train up to use the different types of or to refine the different stuff. So I wonder, I guess we're just gonna have to wait and see. They'll not require new skills to mine, but will they require new skills to refine? That is a question. I think a good question. Undiscovered asteroid belt escalation. Additionally, players completing any of the above asteroid belts have a small chance to get the first ever mining escalations. The site contains a massive amount of all types of ore. Interesting. So, mining escalations. Okay. I wonder if they appear in the same system or they appear somewhere in the area. Forsaken Sanctum. So now this is sounding really interesting because, well, let me just read through this. This is something that that I am probably interested in, but I believe you have to have capitals on grid. Actually, not just on grid, but in the site. So a set of more challenging and rewarding combat anomalies have been added and are exclusively available through the new major threat detection array upgrades at the Sovereignty Hub. These sites are known as Forsaken Sanctums for the main pirate faction and Teeming Drone Hordes for the rogue drones. Okay, so Teeming Drone Hordes is what's going to be my area. These sites include a larger number of higher difficulty NPCs than the existing Sanctum and Drone Horde anomalies, and some of the new NPCs will shoot at drones and fighters more readily than the NPCs in existing nullsec. Interesting. Nullsec combat anomalies. These sites are especially well suited to be defended by capsuleers flying battleships and marauders. Oh, okay. I like that. I'm going to get out there and pew pew with my paladin. My paladin is just right for drone area, and that would be nice to have something a little bit harder. I like being active doing it. You know, we've all done the, spinning ship with drones and everything, which doesn't take, takes a long time and doesn't take much effort, but now it is more suited for using different ships. So, and new escalation sites that spawn from combat anomalies. So, now wait a second. Is this the anomalies? The Angel Shielded Starbase. Let's see, Drone Infested Starbase. Okay. Let's see, Pirate Capital Ship Fleet. Drone Capital Hive. Guaranteed Faction Spawn, Drone Infested Mine. And Guaranteed Officer Spawn, Germinating Drone Enclave. And then why do we have here a capital? I guess there's no sound with this. It's just a video showing a capital ship blowing things up. All right. Very good. Now, this doesn't really explain how this works. This doesn't really explain much about it, except that now it's possible. So we'll have to see what happens. It looks like there's 4 new escalation types. I'm down for that. The Sovereignty Hub transition stuff. So the oh, interesting. So it looks like on the 11th, we're not going to have everything in for this. It looks like they moved this part to the 20th. And so for transitioning to the new SOV hubs, which is going to be required to get these, I think. And you know what's going to happen is we're going to have systems where everybody's going to want to do these, and so they're going to be crowded as all get out. So too long didn't read. You can start placing skyhooks and turn stuff on the 20th. Yeah, okay. So, okay. The Metanox Moon Drill. This is also just null space, and is it in wormhole space as well? It might be. This is the slow guaranteed moon drill, where the moon ore doesn't pop. It's just going to slowly collect it. It's going to be at a slower pace than if you use like a Athanor that will, pull the piece out and then explode it. So for however much time it takes for all of that, this is going to be less overall volume. Low second wormhole as well. Okay, very good. So then, here's for manufacturing these things, which I'm not going to be doing. If my market that I sell to is not in null, and so there'd be no sense in me building these to sell in high sec. It's just, and I don't do builds in null because my industry characters are all high sec characters. So here we go, the new Upwell haulers and freighters. So we got the Squall, which is the just regular hauler, and these have what do we got here? Targeting, navigation. Let's see here. Fitting. It can fit. Isn't it auto targeting missiles only? So I think it's auto targeting only. I started training auto targeting on 2 characters that might fly these. Any missiles? Thought it was auto targeting only. All right, well, if it's any missiles, that's fine. The Avalanche has bonus to auto targeting. Okay. So then the Deluge, which is a this is the blockade runner. So it can fit a cloak and use a cloak while flying. I'm expecting that their holds that we use on these, like this is just to have a regular cargo hold, but then it's going to have the bonus reagent hold, whereas the regular blockade runners just have a single cargo hold. And I don't know, it might be smaller. So the Torrent, I heard CCP say that this is going to be a very nice choice for hauling in high sec. We'll see. I'm definitely going to play with it and find out. We'll definitely make some fits up and everything. I probably won't buy one the first week that they're out because they're going to be too expensive. I will get the blueprints right away though, and probably will end up building some. I will fire off a couple of copies and then I'll put them in for research so that I can get the costs down on them. And so infrastructure hold capacity, I think that is that the reagents? The reagents hold, and then fleet hangar capacity. So an Upwell hauler. So these will be new. I haven't seen any of the Upwell hauler stuff yet. So we're going to have to get the skill books for those. I wonder how expensive they'll be. Hmm. And the infrastructure hold is where the reagents go. All right, very good. So, now I like this. It's got a two bonus to warp core strength, which means that a single point may not hold you. That they're going to probably want to use 2 points on you to hold you. 100% bonus, the benefit of overheating, afterburners, microwarps, local repair modules, resistance modules, Nosferatu modules, and energy neutralizer modules. So that falls in line with the other deep space transports, where they get bonuses to their shielding. This just has more items that it gets bonuses to, and the bonuses are for overheating. 90% reduction in jump distance for jump fatigue. All right. And can link to orbital skyhood, reagent silos, bypassing normal ship restrictions. Now, are the skyhooks going to be only serviceable by these ships? Is that what that's saying? Huh. I wonder if we're going to be limited on what can link to that stuff. That's very interesting. And then the avalanche, the big X. That's for stealing from a skyhook. Okay. So the freighter, so 10% bonus for the infrastructure hold capacity for the reagents, 10% bonus to missile damage for every upwell freighter level, and 20% bonus to auto-targeting missile damage. So this should be interesting, especially if these stack. So, which I'm assuming that they will. So at level 5, you're getting a 50% bonus to missile damage. And then at level 5, you're also getting a 100% bonus to auto-targeting missile damage, which means you don't get to choose your target, but you do get to, rip whoever's closest. And I think that auto-targeting will automatically choose whoever's closest. I have never used auto-targeting missiles before. So this will be interesting. And my Null guy is training auto-targeting missiles right now. And my and this guy here, I think that's probably auto-targeting. Oh no, astrometric pinpointing. Okay, well then, I thought that I had put auto-targeting missiles on him too, but maybe not. Maybe I want to. Yeah. I'm gonna put these in right now. Let them start training up.
Welcome to the Dragons.
Stank just followed.
And then light missiles. And then light missile specialization. This will be for the little ships. Okay. So, Stank, thank you for the follow. Welcome. Then the roll bonuses on the Avalanche, 10% bonus to kinetic and thermal missile damage. Okay. So, much like Gerstus, 90% reduction in jump fatigue, 90% reduction in capital flex shield hardener capacitor activation cost and power grid requirements. That'll be interesting. Okay. Unable to use cloaking modules. Can link to Skyhook. So Infrastructure hold, yes, that's for the reagents. The skill requirements and Upwell hauler. 3 new skills related to the Upwell hauling ships. This includes 1 skill for flying medium-sized haulers and Tech 2 variations, 1 skill for the Upwell freighter, and an additional skill for inventing and building the Tech 2 variations. So Upwell haulers, 2 million. Upwell freighter is 80 million. Upwell Starship Engineering, 10 million ISK and 15,000 LP at Faction Warfare Militia LP stores. Oh, I happen to have some LP on some of my guys, so. Upwell Haulers is required to fly the Squall Tech 1 at level 1. Needs to be trained to level 5 in order to fly the Deluge. And Torrent. Upwell Freighters is required to fly the Avalanche Freighter. Upwell Starship Engineering is required to run an invention job on a Squall blueprint and needed to manufacture Tech 2 blueprint copies of the Deluge and Torrent transport ships. All right. So, yeah. So I see that, Syncline, you're mentioning about some people talking about running sites with these. And I'm not sure that it would be wise, but that was the first thing I thought, is that, okay, so maybe I could actually run some sites with these. I'm not sure why you would want to. So we're going to have to find out the reason to do that, because it's probably not going to be the most effective ship for running those. And so if you need a lot of cargo space for those, well, I'm not sure that you're going to need that either. Let's see here. Carriers have been struggling to find a healthy spot in the ecosystem for quite a while now. And there's the crab beacons. Give them more defined role. Specializing in fleet troop transport. Specializing in fleet and troop transport. Shaping the battlefield through positioning tools. Fleet or troop transport. So carrier conduit jump. Carriers will now have the capability of using conduit jump to take 5 to 30 players in a jump tunnel with them. The number of players which are passengers for the jump is increased by the new skill Capital Jump Portal Generation, which increases the limit by 5 per level. This is built into carriers and does not require a module to be fitted. Interesting. Prerequisites will be on Jump Portal Generation 5 with a training modifier of 14x. Purchase location will be the standard Empire schools for the price of 250 million. So ships which can be passengers for the conduit jump include variations, including faction T2, T3, etc., of corvettes, frigates, destroyers, cruisers, battle cruisers, and battleships. They do not say marauders. That's the first thing I noticed. They don't say marauders. So it might just be, I mean, is a marauder considered a Tech 2 battleship? I'm not 100% sure it is. I know it fits in the battleship class, but I'm not 100% sure it would qualify. You think so, Syncline? All right, well, we'll have to find out. So that'd be quite a response fleet, huh? Somebody's getting ganked and they light a Sino and we jump. Myself and a few friends. Yeah. Capital micro jump drives and capital micro jump field generators. Carriers will gain the ability to fit a new capital-sized versions of micro jump drive and micro jump drive field generator. Both these modules require a new skill.
El Raimi just followed.
Remy, thank you for the follow. Welcome. Capital Micro Jump Drive Operation. Capital Micro Jump Drive jumps a carrier 250K in whatever direction it is facing. Woo, 250. That sounds interesting. 250. So if you're in a site and you have somebody land in there and you fire off your capital micro jump to get 250 out, then you may be far enough out to get to warp and get to safety. Now, doesn't that sound interesting? Let's see here. Capital Micro Jump Field Generator will jump a carrier 50 extra subcapitals and up to 4 capitals around it. Capitals are counted separately to subcapitals. 250K in whatever direction it's facing. Can you get carriers into ESSs? I don't know. But for those guys who, you're in the ESS and they're trying to run away and everything, I wonder if you could fire that off. Carriers can't enter? Okay. Because one of the things that happens a lot is, it happens at the gate as well, is that we'll have, hostiles that want to rob the bank, but they're like 1,000 out and stuff. So I wonder if you could take a couple carriers and fire this off and go jump, 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 like 3 in a row to catch up to them, something like that. So can move ships which are in siege. Whoa! Siege ships can go, such as Siege Dreads, Triage Mode Fax, and Roracles with cores active. After the jump completes, all ships moved by the jump are scrammed for 5 seconds and unable to be moved again by the microjump drive until the effect expires. So only 5 seconds. So I'm assuming, though, that there's going to be a cooldown on the carrier. But if you have two, you jump another carrier with you, and then that other carrier fires it off. I don't know. We're going to have to see. We're going to have to see how this works out. Both modules can be stopped by warp scramblers and scripted heavy interdictor warp disruption
Welcome
field generators.
To the Dragons.
No name _ Tyler just followed.
Tyler, thank you. This is going to be really interesting for null combat. Network sensor array will block the activation of these modules if it's on. And skill books are located in the Empire School stations, 250 million or 325 million from the character sheet. Oh, well, you can save yourself 100 or 75 million if you want to buy it from a station. Blueprints for both new modules will be found in data sites. Oh, all of a sudden, data sites, interesting again. There's going to be a shit ton of explorers out there hoping to find some of these. Only one of these modules can be fit on a carrier at any given time. All right. Does this show the animation of a jump? No, it doesn't. Or does it? Oh yeah, there we go. So all right. Very good. Oh, wow. 12 new faction light and support fighters have been added to the game. Navy faction fighters feature significantly higher hit points than Tech 1 and Tech 2 fighters, but have slightly lower firepower and E-War strength than the Tech 2 fighters. Blueprint copies for these fighters can be found exclusively in Empire Faction Warfare Militia LP stores. That sounds really interesting. And so you're able to get a higher EHP on on these versions, which is really handy if you keep losing your fighters. So, which is a problem that I have. My fighters get chewed up before I can pull them back in. And so, here's the different types. This is interesting. This is very interesting. This is a huge buff for carriers and for capitals. So this is really great. The targeted doomsday weapons damage increase from 1 million to 2 million. This means the max skill Titan Doomsday goes from 1.5 to 3 million damage. All right. And are they really firing it at a station here? Okay, a skyhook. As capital EHP values have increased in recent years, particularly with the addition of Navy faction dreadnoughts, we want to bring the Doomsday damage back up to a state where it can remain respected and feared. What? Oh no. Oh no, they're changing the Victorious Luxury Yacht. No. The yacht has seen some abuse at his nigh uncatchable wormhole rolling ship. We aim to remove it as a viable roller in the following changes. Oh, come on. You're going to nerf my ship? Oh my goodness. The power grid is reduced from 300 to 100. It's okay. Mass reduced from 10 million to 1. Okay, so by taking that mass reduction down, it will not be nearly as effective at rolling wormholes. Agility adjusted from 0.4 to 4 to keep align time the same after these changes. Okay, so it's not okay for wormholes now. All right, so I really hope that the way I use my Victorious Luxury Yacht, that is unaffected. That might be the case here. We'll see. Auto-targeting missiles. With the Avalanche having a heavy focus on auto-targeting missiles, faction variations of existing auto missiles have been renamed to Legion auto-targeting missiles and are now obtainable at Mortis Legion LP store for LP and ISK costs of the existing missiles of the same size. So faction warfare and insurgency balance. Forward operating base spawn rules have been adjusted so that the forward operating base are far more likely to be placed in command operation systems adjacent to front lines rather than in the rear guard solar systems of winning factions. They want to promote more fighting. Okay, so this is faction warfare. I don't do much of the faction warfare stuff. So I'm going to skip over this part. Vendetta and Vehement. Blueprints for the Vehement and Vendetta have been updated to reduce their build material requirements and be closer to other pirate faction capitals. Okay. So I don't know that it's going to make them any cheaper. I mean, because the cost is really in their rarity, not in their build. Graphics, bomb visual effects, higher fidelity. Okay. All right. More pretty explosions. So, okay, so Upwell Citadels all have had a graphics update. Structure explosions have made more visibly enjoyable in tie-dye. All planets have received considerable graphics overhaul. This is one of the things that EVE has done really well, CCP has done really well, is a continual iteration on the graphics, updating things. You know, they did a few years ago, they redid all of the stars or the suns, and now they're redoing the planets, so they're going to look better. That'll be great. So the Skinner ship personalization. This is... I have really mixed feelings about the Skinner stuff. So some some people who have worked with it have just really great things to say about it. But I have always been a speculator of skins, and I literally have like 200 billion worth of skins, and that I place on the market and I slowly sell. And I've speculated on them, and I bought them, like with Plex from the store. Some of them were drops, and stuff like that. And I have kind of mixed feelings about this, about whether or not this is going to destroy the skin market. I can say, without having done an actual analysis, I think that the price of a lot of skins have dropped significantly in the past couple of weeks. And so, that it takes a little while for stuff to update, but my net worth now is 690 billion. I think that, and I was 900 billion, but I spent 45,000 Plex, and so that took me down a bit. The combined assets value 393 million. Yeah, I don't know. So that is I don't know. I wonder if it's going to destroy that other market, or if this will never quite reach the same uniqueness of the other ship skins. So we're going to be able to, from right off the bat, see, do some stuff with skins and everything. And there's a lot of special effects. They're showing a few things here, but there's also like some chromatic colors and other stuff, and some other variations, and I suppose that there's going to be other ways to make things glow and stuff. Who knows if there'll be some sort of drop that'll be like police drop that'll place flashing blue and red lights on a ship and stuff, or because that would detract from all the police skins, which have been so heavily promoted lately with all the new ones. I just don't know, and so I have some hesitations about this. I actually think that it's going to be great. People are going to be able to make a lot of skins and stuff. I'll fool around with it, but at the same time, I don't know. We are going to be able to sell our skins, and but I think that I saw that it won't be until like the 20th or something like that that portion will open up. So you're going to have a couple weeks or a week or whatever, however long, to get your skins in a shape that you want them to be. So let's see here. Sequencing. Yeah, so you're going to use Plex on a lot of stuff. And you're going to use Plex for turning these into different things, stuff. I don't know. We're just going to have to see. There's a lot of information in here. I'm not sure I want to go over all of it. But there are some new skills here. And so I probably will use one of my characters that like maybe my main trader character, who doesn't have a lot of skins applied to him, but I use him often. And so maybe he work on making skins. The drops of these things, there's going to be some drops of this stuff as well. So it'll be interesting to see, like, some of the super rare stuff like comes out of, I don't know, loot or something. So selling skins, yes. So the selling skins is not going to be available yet. Oh, goodness. All pink Cadillacs. Okay. Sequencing binders, collection. I mean, this is going to be, I don't know. This is, maybe I'll end up training this stuff and I'll like it and I'll keep training more of it and do more of it, or I'm going to extract the stuff back out after a while. I don't know. I think with a ton of people making skins and putting them on the market is going to be absolutely glutted. I just really think like there's got to be a throttle on this, a heavy throttle. And so there's going to have to be a really heavy throttle on this in order to keep the value up of stuff. And, unless, you're able to do something like, put your maker's mark on them or something like that, and then people want skins from a certain person and they're proud to have that badge of the maker's mark, something like that. I've seen other games do that. Who knows? So in Paragon Hub, players can buy basic nano coatings and stuff. Okay. Omega perks, alpha accounts can sequence skins for their holes. An alpha account can pilot. Omega accounts, however, can sequence skills for any hole that's currently supported by the skinner tool. Okay. So we now have more corporation projects, and for the people who participate in these, I'm sure that they are, very interested in that. Salvaging wrecks. Yeah, well, I salvage a lot of stuff, so I'm gonna get some sort of bonus points on that if our corp or whatever puts out a salvage wreck thing. You got to keep your space clean. So anyway, let's see here. Oh yes, a new ship replacement program. And so they may be able to automate a lot of that, which sounds very interesting, because right now a lot of it's done very manually. They look at your kill mail and then send you a ship, type of stuff. LB buyback programs, interesting. Incentive salvaging, yes. So improved AR daily goals. Oh yes. So we get these. So the new goals and stuff, you can work towards a monthly reward. I don't pay too much attention to these right now. I do get some rewards, but I actually don't go out of my way typically to do them unless something happens to be super interesting. This right here, I mean, is that showing skill points? Is that 150,000 skill points for reaching the end and 75,000? Okay. So 225,000 skill points for reaching a monthly goal? Maybe that does sound interesting. I don't know. We shall see. So, ship emphasis. We want to make interacting with the progressing through ships in New Eden more digestible and inspiring. To that end, we've implemented a variety of improvements, assemble and board action. So, all right, so we got some animations for that. Ship unlock notifications. Oh, interesting. So if you're a newer pilot and you're unlocking new ships, you're going to get some sort of notification. Default ship naming. Naming ship pops up. Assembling a ship. Okay. For the first time. Yeah, because right now it's a clumsy mess of steps. So, you assemble a ship and then you right click and then you go to set name. And this, just when you assemble it, is going to ask you to set a name. Then you just hit enter if you just want it to be whatever. Great. Ship card view, new inventory view that displays the ship group characteristics and the type of ships more clearly. Oh, I'm looking forward to that. I don't know what that is, but that sounds interesting. Skill requirements panel. Okay. And so, okay. I guess it's going over the information in it. Ship tree, pages for the Society of Conscious Thought and Concord ship lines been added to the ship tree. Woohoo! I'm tired of trying to find my enforcer status. I have to go look it up in the market and then go to info on it. Or you have to right click on the ship if you have it, which I don't have an enforcer, so that's one that came to mind. So overhauled ship restrictions windows. Want to make it more digestible for players before they head out in space. What type of restrictions are on dungeons? Ships are now sorted into collapsed sections by their group. I don't know if I like that, but okay. Ship icons are shown alongside ship names. Ship entries can now be interacted with. Right-click on the open information window or market details. Only ships within the ship tree will be listed. Added an option to search for specific ship from those listed. Filter options. Restricted ships. Show ship restrictions. Okay. Man, there's a lot of stuff in this. Like a lot. Like I'm going to have to make a list of everything I want to try and do next week. There's so much in here. Homefront operations. Take some of the less popular sites and make them more attractive. Okay, I've never done one, but maybe next week it'd be good to do one. PvE, Paragon missions. Added new Paragon missions to request additional frigates, Navy fighters, additional destroyers, Navy destroyers, T1 faction ammo. What does that mean? Oh, Paragon missions, like the Paragon store thing. Okay. Incursions, mothership sites within high and low security space will now have minimum amount of time before they can appear. Null security space is unaffected by this change. So high security space, a mothership will not appear until at least 3 days have passed. Okay. What's up with my cam? Is it having problems again? It was having problems yesterday too. It's really interesting. This camera really pushes the limits of my USB. I've got it on USB 3. It has to be on USB 3. And it definitely pushes it. It gets a little jittery sometimes. So I just refreshed it. Observatory flashpoints in Pochven. Okay, new stuff with that. C5 and C6 cosmic anomalies and signatures. I heard a lot of groaning and moaning about this. Capital ships must be present in sight prior to the appearance of a decloaked transmission relay to trigger the Arithmos Trionos spawn in C5, C6 cosmic anomalies. Any escalation waves, including the Trionos, will despawn if a capital ship leaves the site or strays further than 100K of the site's warp-in point. This is in wormhole space, by the way. You're going to have a nice fleet ready to help out on this. Lancer Dreadnoughts will now trigger escalation waves in cosmic anomalies and cosmic signatures. Triglavian minor victory systems. Oh, this is interesting. These are in high sec. Entropic disintegrator warp hosts and their deployment fleets will no longer consider players with 0 standing with the Triglavian collective as hostile. Oh! I can stop getting shot. Weapon damage ramp-up time for the Entropic Discriminator warp hosts has been lengthened. Warp hosts now feature a bounty upon destruction. Reinforcement fleets for the warp hosts have been scaled back in difficulty. The interval in which the warp hosts will be deployed has been increased. So there's more of them, but they're easier to kill. Triglavian Collective will no longer deploy warp hosts at stargates, stations, and upwell structures in minor victory systems. So you're no longer going to get shot going through the gates. Okay. Manufacturing. Concord Rogue Analysis Beacon reduced the amount of magnesite required manufacturing by 50%. I guess they want to make those a little bit more affordable. LP stores. Removed all ship holes from LP stores. Hey, when they say this, I saw a lot of questions about this. I believe what they mean is the actual ship holes, not the ship blueprints. So you could spend more on the LP and actually get the ship hole, as opposed to getting the blueprint and having to manufacture it. Now you're going to have to manufacture it. So, which it always seems strange that they had that in there anyway. Added new manufacturing component, net resonator for each pirate faction, changed LP offers for pirate hull BPCs. What does that mean? Changed them. For better or for worse? Subcapital pirate hulls, removed Neuralink conduits from subcapital pirate ship manufacturing, added new component, net resonators to subcapital pirate ship manufacturing, T2 capital guns, reduced some of the resources needed, and genetic mutation inhibitors. New skill. Mutagenic stabilization has been added to the requirement to build genetic mutation inhibitors. The skill gives you a 2% reduction in manufacturing time for all items requiring it per skill level. Skill book has been a training multiplier of 2 and can be found in standard Empire schools. Training multiplier of 2 means you can get it all the way up to 5 pretty quickly. So that about sums it up. Wow. Man, oh man, that is so much stuff. Man, I thought that we were going to spend about 10 minutes skimming it over. We skimmed it and spent an hour. This is probably one of the biggest expansions in recent times. So yeah, I would say that this is definitely one of the biggest expansions that we've seen in quite a while, multiple years. You know, the previous expansions have had some cool things in them. This has a shit ton in it. So that's great. The game is going to be buzzing with activity next week, right? It's great. All right, if you're watching on YouTube, see you in the next episode.